Hello, welcome to Introduction to Word Processing. By the end of this lesson, the student should be able to 1. Identify the features of Microsoft Word and the interface. 2. Demonstrate the functions of the features identified. And 3. Explain at least 8 uses of word processing software. Microsoft Office Word is one of the several components of the Office suite for Microsoft Corporation. Amongst the Office suite components include MS Access, MS Excel, MS PowerPoint, and Word, of which are the most widely used. And during these sessions, we shall be talking about these three: Excel, PowerPoint, and Word. And most importantly, the interfaces we shall be using is from the Office Suite 2013. These features look similar to those in Office 2010 and Office 2007. So if you have Office 2007 or Office 2010, don't be worried, these same tutorials are the same for you. Okay, let's begin. Welcome. To launch the Microsoft Word interface, just head over to your desktop. Your desktop computer is this screen that you're seeing in front of you when you switch on the computer and log in with your password successfully. So this is the desktop, and most especially when Microsoft Office Suite is installed, it creates shortcuts for the applications on the desktop. But there is also another option of opening one of the Office Suite applications. That's by clicking Start. That's at the bottom left corner on your screen. Clicking on the icon for the Windows. You can click on the icon, and then either you search by starting to type in the space that is provided, Word, or if not, you can also be able to also click and ask it to show you all apps on the computer. When I click on all apps and I scroll down, I should be able to reach Microsoft, because every application Microsoft Suite starts with M. So I should be able, and here it is. I can see Microsoft Office 2013. When I click that, it will show me all the applications that are included in the Office Suite. So I'm using Windows 10. Windows 10 is the latest build by Microsoft. So if you're using Windows XP, or using Windows Vista, or using Windows 7, it doesn't matter. You follow the same procedure. So you should be able to launch any of these applications from your machine. The operations may vary differently, may vary, but the similarity is still great. So we can launch Microsoft Word 2013, and here we go. When you open that, you should see something like that. That means it's starting, and you should see something like this on your screen. I'll just close this for a bit. Yeah, so this is what you should see by default. Now in Office Word, the first thing that you see is this portion up here, and this is called a ribbon, this ribbon here. So, and each of these that you see: Home, Insert, Design, Page Layout, References, these are all tools that are available to you to be able to create your documents. And so each and every tab has specific tools that are available for you to create your documents. So we shall be looking at all these interfaces during this period. Now, to quickly show you a tour on the user interface for Microsoft Word, I'll show you three items on the user interface. One is the Microsoft Office button, which is this file. Some of you on your computers, you will see an icon with the windows like this down here at the bottom. That will be appearing here, but that is called the Microsoft Office button. And when you click on it, you can see you get different options that appear. You can create a new document, you can open existing documents, you can save the current document, or you can save as a document. If you want to save it in a different file name, you can print a document, you can share, you can export, close, and other information. 2, it is the quick access toolbar. This quick access toolbar here gives you options to do things that you usually do, which you usually refer to, and by default comes with the undo option and the redo option, and a styles formatting option. So you can easily customize this by clicking on this, and you select which things that you want to appear here. We shall see in future how we shall be able to drag and customize that section. Then lastly, these are the view choices down here. The view choices down here help you to select what you want to how you want your content to be viewed on the screen. I can increase this zoom, I can zoom in or zoom in or zoom out on this, and I can change my layout. This is called the read mode, and this is called the print layout, which most you will always be working in. You will always be working in the print layout or the web layout. So by default, we are using the print layout. There are several ways you can be able to create a new document. You can either come to the Microsoft Office button, which is also file, click up here, and you say new. When you click new, you can see that you're presented with so many options, and most these are other templates that you can be able to use during your work, but most times we're interested in creating a blank document. So when you click on this, you should be able to get a new blank document, which is temporarily named as document either 1, 2, depending on the number of new documents you've opened. The other thing that you want to do is to save a document. So you can either come here at the file, which is the Microsoft Office button, and you say save. When you click on save, you're given so many other options where you want to save your document. Right now I want to save it to the computer, and then we browse for where I want to save it, and browse. Then you're presented with other options on your computer, and we shall save this particular document on our desktop, and we shall call it first. After you're done, then you can say save. So right here you should see that it has changed the name, and if I minimize this, if I click this here to minimize, that it is actually on the desktop first. Now what about opening an existing document? There are 2 ways you can open an existing document. You can either use a shortcut, which is Ctrl-O. That means by holding down Ctrl on your keyboard and pressing O, and you get something like this. And you go to computer, and then you look for where you want to open, where the document is saved. I know that the document that I want to open is on the desktop, so I'll click on browse, and I will go to desktop right here, and then I want to open example.doc, and if I click on that, I select the document by clicking on it, single click, and I come to open. It should be able to open up the document. There it is. And if I want to close the document, I just go right up here in the top right corner, and I click close, and it should be able to close. Welcome once again to Microsoft Word. Now that you've gotten basic experience on the user interface of Microsoft Word, it's time to look at some of its powerful applications. That's in typing documents and writing some text. So in here we have some text and we want to see how we can be able to maneuver through some of this text. So if my cursor, which is this thing here, we usually call a mouse, but a cursor is right here, and I want to probably move back to the beginning of the document, I can use a shortcut key on the keyboard called home. And if I press home on my keyboard, I should go to the beginning of the sentence. And if I press end, it takes me to the end of the sentence. If I want to go to the top of the document, I have to press Control, hold down Control and press home. Control, home. And if I want to go to the end of the document, I press Control, end. To change any key attributes in our text, it must be highlighted first. So select the text by dragging the mouse over the desired text while keeping the left mouse button pressed. I have highlighted perspective, but you can also highlight text by holding down the shift key on the keyboard and pressing an arrow key on the keyboard as well while holding down shift, as you can see. To deselect any text, you just click anywhere within the document and you will have deselected text. Inserting text in anywhere in the document, all you have to do is move your cursor to the point and click by pressing on your mouse the left key, and then you start typing on the keyboard. But you can as well copy text from a different point within the document or from the internet and paste it within your document. For example, we may want to copy this word perspective, which I will highlight by holding down the left key on the mouse and highlight, and I copy it by right clicking on the highlighted text. Right clicking gives you certain options. When I right click on that highlighted text and I click copy, and then I come on this other section, I want to paste it there. Pasting again, I have to right click and get options and I paste. So I have copied perspective from here and I've put it here. You can also delete sections of text within a document. For example, I want to delete this last sentence. What I simply do, I either start from the beginning or the end to highlight, and again I click to select that point and hold down the left key on the mouse and drag up to here. To delete, I will just press the backspace key on the keyboard, just tap once. But what happens when you have made a mistake and probably you deleted something that you didn't intend to delete? What do? There are certain features in Office that help you to undo, that is to undo the most recent action, or to redo the most recent action. So again, at the quick access toolbar at the top here, as you can see, gives us those options to either undo or to redo. If I click on this, it's going to undo what I just did. And if I click on this button here to redo, it will just delete. You can also find and replace text within a document. You might want to search for a particular word or sentence or group of words that are following each other. So what you do is, on the home tab on this ribbon. We say this is a ribbon and this is the home tab. So on the home tab at the far right there's a section for editing, and where you find, replace and selection. So by selecting find, you are able to search for anything. So you get a navigation bar right here, and you can be able to input the terms that you want to search for. For example, I might want to search for all instances of the word perspective. So I will insert perspective, and as I search, it will show me the number of results and actually go ahead and highlight where perspective is found in the document. But I can also want to find and at the same time replace all instances of that word. So I will go back to the home tab on the ribbon and select replace, and it will bring me up this dialog box. So in this dialog box there are two sections: find what, you input what you want to find, and replace with, what you want to replace with. So let's say I want to replace perspective with young. I'll input young, replace with, and then I'll either replace all or replace the first instance. If I want to replace all, I'll click on replace all. If I want to replace all in the first instance, I'll click on the first replace. So I'll say replace all, and as I do so, it will show me that we made one replacement, and actually I can see in the document that the word perspective has been replaced with young. Introduction to styles. A style is a format enhancing tool that includes font typefaces, font size, effects which includes bold, italics, underline, etc. Colors and more. You will notice that on the home tab of the ribbon that you have several areas that will control the style of your document. That is to say, font, paragraph and styles. And you can see here on the ribbon in the home tab we have font, paragraph and styles in the sub tabs within the home tab. To change the font typeface, but before you do that, you need to first highlight the text. That's either by holding down the left mouse button and highlight, and then select this arrow, and then select the font typeface that you want. As you can see, we have changed this font from Calibri to Times New Roman. What about changing the font size? For the font size, again highlight the text that you want to change the size, and then you go next to the font name. There is a section which has numbers, that is the font size. So you can click on that and then you select from the list, and as you move through the list you see your changes being applied in the document. So what you're comfortable with, you click and it will apply the font size. Changing the color of your text happens in the same way within the font sub tab of the home tab. Highlight the text, then select this button right here which will give you the color. We'll change that to red. We can also highlight text within a document by just highlighting. You need to select first the text that you want to highlight, and then use this highlighter right here. Then you can select the color that you want to use. Then sometimes you will get text from either you copied it from another document and comes with different styles. When I say different styles, I mean text which is either in different sizes, different typeface, different colors, and you want to remove all of that, and you have it in a raw format within your document. So what you need to do in that case is to select the text that you want to remove all formatting. For example, in this particular case, we're going to reset this text to its original form. So what we shall do, we shall clear all formatting from this text. So we highlight the entire text, and then after that, and on this sub tab for styles, click on this button for more, and then select clear formatting. What you see is that it has reformatted this text back to the original text. But you see, it did not remove this highlighting. But you can simply remove that by highlighting it, and then you go back to the highlighting option and say no color. That's it. So you have your text back in its original format, in the raw format. Another interesting feature with the word processing tool from Office is you can be able to insert images, tables, and all sorts of things. So you head over to the Insert tab on the ribbon, click that. So you can begin by adding a table. To insert a table, you just click on this, and then you can select the size of the table that you want. For example, we want a table with 3 columns and 3 rows, a 3 by 3 table. We select that, and it inserts the table for us. And we can be able to add in content in the table. Be able to add more style to the table using the sub tab called styles. Can be able to select, and it will be able to show you as you select, as you browse through the different styles, as it adds the effects to the table. If we're comfortable with the table, we basically select, click, we add the style. There's also another important feature. Can insert images into your document. To insert an image, again head over to the Insert tab, then select Pictures, and then head over to the section where you have saved your image, and then you'll be able to insert. You select the image. We are selecting an image that we saved from the desktop to insert into our document. We select on the image and click Insert. Here we have the image that we've inserted. Still working with styles, we can be able to add headings to our documents, and the way we do that, we'll use pre-formatted styles to add styles to our information in the document. For example, we might want this to be heading number 1 within the document, and you can do that by selecting heading 1. If I select heading 1 here, it will show up that this selected text is heading number 1. And when I select within here, it shows me up here how the selection is changing. But I can also customize my headings. I may want them to be of certain font typeface, font color, and font size. What I do, I head over to the styles section, and I right click on the style that I want to modify, and I select modify. And I'll head over here to the formatting tab, and I'll select this to Times New Roman. I'll leave the size at 16. I want to make it bold and change this color to black, and say OK. Also apply, I can either apply the style only in this document or to the styles gallery. I say OK. So now all my heading ones will be this format in this entire document. Then I can also add subsections within the document. say tables and figures, and I want this section heading to be heading 2. So I'll highlight this heading and I'll give it heading 2. But remember, we want all our text to be in a particular format. So I'll need to modify this style by right clicking on it, modify, change this to Times New Roman, this to bold, and change this color to black, and everything is okay. It's fine. Okay, so right now I had two headings, two types of text in my document. I have heading 1 and heading 2, then I have the normal body text. But I also want to change the font of the normal body text to Times New Roman. So I'll right click on this, modify, and change this to Times New Roman. I want this size to be at 12. It's okay, everything nice. I may want it to be justified, aligned, and I'll click on this and I'll say okay. So every font, every text in my document, normal text, will always follow this format. And as you can see, even the text in the table has been readjusted. So we want to say that formatting text is the first chapter of this document. So to add numberings to our chapters, we select the section, we select the text, and head over to the paragraph section in the Home tab, and we select a multi-level list which corresponds to our chapter. This is numerical, we want this format, so we select this. So it has applied one formatting text, which is representing as our heading 1. Tables and figures is heading 2 1.1. It's a subheading within the first section. So 1.1. Now we can go ahead and add captions to our tables and figures. By doing so, you right click on this button which represents the table and select insert caption, and in there is a table label, which is table 1.1, and we give it a name of students. Want it above the selected item, say okay. So we can see that table 1.1 names of students is the caption for this table. But again, we want all our text to follow a certain font and format. So we find that table 1.1 names of students has a style. If I expand the styles here, it's style caption. I want to modify that, and Times New Roman, I want it font size 10. I want it to be bold. I don't want it italics, and I want it in color black, and I want it in the middle centered. Let's say okay. So there we are, table 1.1 has taken on that. My figures, I want them to be to also have captions, but at the bottom. Just right click on the figure and select insert caption. Change this from table to figure, give it a name, student image. Insert this. To add table of contents, list of figures, list of tables, I will need to create space for that content. So what I need to do first is to get to the beginning of the document and create space at the top by pressing the enter button to create space at the top. And I want to add some pages. So what I will need to do is to insert section breaks within the document. I head over to the Insert tab, Page Layout tab. In breaks, select breaks, then head over to next page. That means that this section is different from this section. And to prove that, head over to the Home tab and select the paragraph marks under the paragraph. When I select the paragraph mark, it shows that there is a section break here and there is another section down here. To further justify this, double click in these lower margins of the document, either the lower or the top of it, depending on the page that you're on. If you double click in here, to further justify what I'm talking about, head over to Page Layout, head over to Insert tab and click on Footer. Select blank. You can see right here that this page has section 2, whereas this has section 1. So I have two different sections within my document. So that means I can have completely different page numbering from this section and below, and different page numbering on this section. So, and to further disconnect the two from linking with each other, when I select this upper section, upper header in section 2, I have to deselect link to previous in the navigation bar. So there is now no more connection between section 2 header and section 1 header. I do the same thing for the footer and say disable link to previous. So both header and footer of section 2 are different from the header and footer of section 1. That means I can be able to have different headers and footers and different page numberings in the different sections. So I may want this to be the cover page for my document. And I want to apply some styling. I want to center this. Probably also increase the font size. So here I have my. Then also we wanted to add table of contents, list of figures, and list of tables. I'll have to create another section here. Go to page layout, breaks, next page. Insert a section break and start new page on the next page. So that means I have 3 different sections right now. Section 1, which is the cover page. Section 2, which is the blank one, which we're going to create. And section 3, which has our content. So right here, we can add our list of table of contents, list of figures, and list of tables. To insert the table of contents, we go to References, the References tab, and select Table of Contents. It will automatically generate, depending on the text which was selected, either heading 1, heading 2, heading 3, and so forth. As you can see, formatting text was set as heading 1 and tables and figures was set as heading 2. To insert list of figures, probably want them to be on their own page. So list of figures, insert table of figures. Probably have to write list of figures, and you want to give this styling of section of heading 1. List of figures, references, insert table of figures. You want to give me the list of figures. On the next page, we want to have the list of figures. List of go again, insert table of figures. So figures, and we want to give this heading 1. Again, we know that this is section 2, but we want to unlink it from section 1. So how we do it? Go to insert, select footer, and shall show us that section 2 does not link to section 1. And also to confirm that section 2 does not link to section 1. And also section 3 now links to section 3 links to the previous, so we have to unlink it first, and as well as the header. Everything looks neat. So we need to update our table of contents. update the entire table. So we'll now add the list of tables and the list of figures as well. Just clean up these spaces. Clean everything. Looks nice. We can be able to disable now the paragraph marking so that our document looks smart and clean by just coming back to the paragraph under Home tab and select this. So now the document looks clean and smart. Of course, we only have one table and one figure because this is just for tutorial purposes. So this is a mini document that can work as a report, but we're missing one thing. We're missing page numbers, and one thing we have to note that the cover page usually doesn't have page numbers, so we need to remove anything that is in the footer of the cover page. So we'll select this and remove. We go from the table of contents up to the list of figures. We want it to have Roman numeral numbers. So we go back to insert, page number, want it at the bottom of the page. We need to format these page numbers. We want it to be Roman numerals. Start at I. Say OK. So right now, if I insert page number at the bottom, they'll start from I for all pages in section 2. And you realize that in section 3 doesn't have any page numbers, and we also have to set that right now. So go to insert, page number at the bottom of the page, but we want first format the page numbers and say start at 1, want them to be the normal natural numbers. And we go back to insert, page number, bottom of the page, want it in the middle. So since there's only one page in our document, we'll only have one page. So page number 1. So here we have a formatted document. With captions, page numbers, list of figures, list of tables, table of contents, and the cover page that is not numbered. So we can save our document. File, either save or file, save as, and you save on any location on your computer that you want. But we are saving on the desktop, so we'll go ahead and select desktop and click save. So the file has been saved. Thank you for listening.